Mm. Okay, we are live. Hello, 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 everybody. This is your girl, Miss Trina, with Chat with Trina. I am using a different format lately, and it hasn't been working right. So today we're getting it together. How you doing, Miss Tamika?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I am doing good. We're getting ready to get started. There we go. Okay, I think we're ready. Hey guys, this is your girl, Miss Trina, with Chat with Trina, and excuse the technical difficulty. There's things popping up on my screen. But the show must go on. I want to thank everybody for always clicking in to watch Chat with Trina. I don't take it for granted, but just make sure that you go to youtube.com/chat with Trina. Subscribe. Let me find my number. I need 143 subscribers to meet my goal of 500. Shouldn't be that hard. 143 people. I need you to subscribe. Well, I have a very special guest who is a good friend of my sister's and now a good friend of mine. We're like sisters. Gosh, we've known each other, gosh, some years now.
Yeah, about 12 years.
It's been yes. I
Yeah.
remember our trip to Dallas. Was it Dallas we went to?
We went to Dallas.
I think that's when I
We
first met you,
did.
probably in
Yeah.
person. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say she's always been super cool, super down to earth. Looks like I'm gonna be getting to her hometown of Atlanta eventually.
Yes.
So, so today is a special show to me. It is my regular chat with Trina, but Tamika was diagnosed with breast cancer, and we're going to get into a little of it. But I want her to save her story for October, because I have a full month of breast cancer month and survivors to come on and talk about their stories. But we're going to get a little bit into it today because now that I think about it, there's never too many times to talk about it. Now that I think about it, so we're gonna get into that, and then she has a really cool event that's coming up. That is really why I want her here to share that, so you can know what it is she's about to start doing and how you can help. Because this is something big that we all need to get into. Everyone I know knows at least one breast cancer or cancer in itself survivor. Just found out yesterday and talking to a friend of mine. Well, that was Monday. She was supposed to call me for something last week. She didn't call me, and she called me Monday to tell me she was sorry, but she found out she has a different form of cancer, and that's why she wasn't able to contact me back. And so, I mean, we all know at least one person with some sort of cancer. So, and as Tamika probably knows, this particular person, it's just a shock. It's like, now what? So, we're gonna get into it, Miss Tamika. Tell us. I said Atlanta, but what part of Atlanta are you from?
I'm actually from Decatur, Georgia.
Okay, that's
Hmm.
the one. Is it Brown, Tyler Perry, or Mr. Brown? I was talking about when they try to make they look. They always say Decatur, Georgia.
Yeah.
So, so that's where you grew up. You have brothers, sisters.
And yes, I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, in the city, near
Crazy. No,
Clark, Atlanta. And then we moved to Decatur, Georgia,
oh,
where I ended up going to high school,
okay.
Columbia High School. And yes, I have siblings. I have two sisters
So how did
and
you get?
one brother. Yes.
Okay, just one little soul, little man in the house. Y'all ran over him. I bet. Is he the baby?
No, he's the
No,
oldest. No, he's
he's
the
old. Okay,
oldest.
okay, okay,
I'm the baby. Yeah, I'm the
okay.
baby.
Oh no, I didn't realize that. You probably told me. I just
Hmm.
didn't remember.
Hmm.
So how did you get to Houston?
What brought me to Houston was the medical field. I actually came here to be a sonographer, and God saw fit for me to be here, but I didn't go into sonography. I actually went into medical billing and coding.
Okay. Is that what you're
Yeah.
still doing?
Yes, I work for Baylor College of Medicine. I've been there for about 8 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
y'all pay for parking?
Depending on where you're located, because we have several locations here.
Oh,
So
okay, okay,
depending on
okay.
where you're
I was
located.
offered
Yeah.
a job, but I didn't take it because I was thinking about parking. That was so silly, but
Yeah, yeah. But I
um,
understand.
yes. So talk to us. You are a breast cancer survivor, but warrior, because you did
Mhm.
get past it. Talk to us about when you found out. How did you find out?
Well, last year, I actually found out in January, but I actually found my lump in around October or November of 2021. I had just had my annual mammogram January 2021. Nothing was there. It was clear. I didn't have nothing. And literally by October, November, I had a lump in my breast. I normally don't do self exam because in my head, I'm thinking my breasts are small. I ain't got nothing to worry about. And I just so happened to be putting on a bra and I felt a lump and I knew it was something weird, but I wasn't worried because we didn't have breast cancer in our family. So once I went to my GYN because I was going for other issues as far as fibroids
Mm-hmm.
and polyps and menopause symptoms and stuff
Right.
like that was going on. I was in perimenopause and I let her know that I felt the lump and she immediately sent me to get a diagnostic mammogram and ultrasound, which was December, literally New Year's Eve of 2021. So I found out in 2022 that I had triple negative breast cancer, which was stage 2, grade 2B, and my tumor was as big as a golf ball.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So could you
So
tell us what the triple negative? Someone's told me that before, but could you tell us?
yes, triple negative is when you are negative for all when you are negative for all things as such as progesterone, estrogen, and HER2, which is like a protein gene. So with that being said, they don't know where it came from because nothing is feeding it. It's just out of
Mm,
nowhere. So it's the most aggressive. It's the most common amongst Black women. It's also where you may or may not get a secondary cancer after you have healed from regular breast cancer, but it's a common breast cancer in Black women. A lot of people don't know that, and especially with um, in my case, I had
mhm.
dense breasts. So
Yeah.
even if I did have it and they didn't see it, if it was there January in 2021, they wasn't going to be able to see it because it was probably small at that time. But the progression of
Wow,
it, because
yeah.
it's very aggressive, so they can only do chemo for it. It's nothing else they can do but do chemo.
And it's amazing two things that you were having your mammograms
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then they saw nothing, it came back
Mm-hmm.
fine, and
Mm-hmm.
just a few what 3 months later there was
Yeah,
something.
that's literally that was almost a little bit over 6 months that
Mm-hmm.
I had a tumor.
Wow.
Right. And it grew and that's how you know it's very aggressive and it progresses quickly because
Mhm.
in a matter of months I ended up having a tumor as big as a golf ball.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is no one in your family had breast cancer.
No one in my family had breast cancer. My grandfather, who passed,
Mhm.
he had prostate cancer, but no
Mhm.
one in my family had breast cancer on my mom's side, as we knew. And
Right.
on my dad's side, I don't know anything of inheritance. And even when I did the genetic testing, it nothing came back for it being in my family. So that's how triple negative kind of works like that because
Mhm.
it's no one knows where it's coming from. But thank God for science and the
Yeah.
progression in medicine that they're working on finding things of maybe seeing what is
Just
feeding
cause
it
it.
right
Mhm.
and how women can possibly get other treatment because even with my chemo, it's funny how you looking at commercials and you never
Mhm.
really think about it. And I had been seeing Keytruda for years. And
Uh-huh.
then when they gave me my chemo treatment, Keytruda was a part of my chemo treatment.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Because you never think about you talked we also had a conversation about your sons, if it's
yes.
okay for you to bring that up, that we all know now, we should all know that men do get breast cancer.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
would you mind just speaking really quick, if it's okay, about what your son endured?
Well, he found something, and he immediately contacted me and my sister, and we immediately got him to a doctor to make sure that it wasn't cancer, because the thing about my sons, they not only have me as having breast cancer, on their father's side of the family, it's breast cancer. So from this
Mhm.
point on, when they go in for any doctor's appointments, especially as now that they're becoming, especially my youngest son is going to be
Mhm.
18, as adults, that needs to be in their paperwork, because they would take them more seriously, because with breast cancer, which is they don't want to lower the age. The age is now lowering to 40. So if you kind of get symptoms of things before 40, if you don't have it like in your history or not a tumor, they really don't take you seriously. So
Mm.
that's why I encouraged all of them to make sure that it's in their paperwork, that
So you can request it and say, "Hey, we need."
yes.
Okay.
Yes, but it has to be symptoms. You have to have some form of a symptom or a history, but they'll be looking at them more now, because we have prostate cancer, breast
Gotcha.
cancer, stomach cancer on both sides of all of my kids' family.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and you, what was I going to ask you? When you went in, so you did have had some surgery. How many surgeries did you have?
Um,
That's always amazing to me. How many surgeries you have
yeah,
had?
I had to think about it. I actually had three,
Okay.
because the first one was for the port to be put in for the chemo. So you can opt to do the IV in your arm, or you can opt to do the port. The port is a little bit easier. So when you come in, it has like about three dots
Mm-hmm.
in it, to where they can put the needle in to furnish your chemo. And that
Right.
way you won't have, certain reactions or skin reactions, or the needle may come out and cause bruising. So that was my first surgery, which was the port. The second surgery was about a month after my chemo, which was my double mastectomy. I
Mm-hmm.
chose to do a double mastectomy because I felt like that was a better chance of me not getting reoccurrence. They cannot guarantee that you won't get a reoccurrence even after a double mastectomy, but according to the numbers and the research, it's better to just go ahead
And
and
do.
take them off. My third surgery was the deep flap. So as you may see, I have breasts because with a deep flap, you have the tissue that is transferred from your stomach to build you new breasts.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Did you think about that? Did you know that that was what you were gonna planning to do?
Yes, I at first I didn't, and then once I got to the doctor and they gave me my options, which first of all, shout out to Methodist Willowbrook, great doctors, great infusion. They treat you like a patient, as Tamika, as Stacy, as
Yeah. Instead of
Sabrina.
a
They don't
number.
treat you as a number. So
Yeah.
shout out to them. My team was amazing.
Awesome.
They Yes, once I got to the place, of the different they had, because it's several. You can actually do the abdominal transfer, the back fat transfer, the thigh transfer. You
Mhm.
have so many options. So once he told me about the stomach transfer, I know I've been battling with my stomach for years after having kids, and
Right.
with COVID, you got the
Mhm.
little chunky. So I
Right.
went on and took that option, and it,
Okay.
it turned out well.
Wow.
So
And
yeah.
that wasn't that long ago.
No, that was in December.
Okay.
December, literally Christmas. I was getting out of the hospital.
Hospital.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I'm having my fourth surgery June the 5th, which is a kind of like a correction, not necessarily, but it's
Oh.
yeah. So they're just gonna take off some size and add a
Mhm.
little bit more, and then I'll be done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Um, Is your family now like more aware? Are they checking more? I know your sons are, but like other members of your family, now that this has happened.
Yes, yes. I have been a advocate for them. I've been teaching them. I actually been an advocate for a couple of people that
Mhm.
didn't know about triple negative breast cancer. They didn't know about deep flap and other things that involves breast cancer. Because when you think breast cancer, you either think metastatic or other forms. People never really understood about triple negative or
Yeah.
never heard of it.
Because this year, in October, when I do my breast cancer month,
Mhm.
um, that was the first time I had heard it because another young lady mentioned it to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm in awe of the knowledge that you have. So much
Mhm.
knowledge, like you really, like you. I know that you're gonna say I don't know everything, but you know so much, and
Mhm.
what did you do? What did you go research as soon as this happened? Like, how did you become so knowledgeable of this subject?
Well, the first thing that happened since this is mental health month, the first thing that happened when I found out, I was very discouraged
Mhm.
and I didn't, see the long haul. I just heard cancer.
Yeah.
And that after I got that out of my head and I had the support of my family and my closest and dearest friends, I started doing research. I started looking, okay, what is this? What is this? Why is this happening? Why should I jump and do chemo so quick? Why should and I just started doing research, doing YouTube, doing the different foundations, and just was feeding myself with knowledge, not just with the chemo, not just with Bible scriptures and different.
Mhm.
My whole thing was feeding myself with knowledge so that I can pass on that knowledge.
Definitely. And it makes it things less scary.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, I know this has nothing to do with others, but I'm gonna use an example. I was scared of riding a plane.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a bunch of research on flying when I first flew when I was an adult. I flew when I was young, but as an adult, I did everything. Like even what do you call it? What is they called? When the plane bumps and jumps. I forget what it's
Yeah,
called.
the turbulence,
Turbulence. So
turbulence.
by the time I got on the plane, anything that happened, I knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what you
Mm-hmm.
said, you knew where to go, you knew about the chemo, you knew this. It helps you to be prepared for
Mm-hmm.
whatever's happening. And I think
Yes,
that makes things less scarier and
yes,
easier to deal with, right?
yes, yes. It really does. The
Yeah.
more knowledge you have, the better you can adjust and kind of have a sense of, okay, I can be okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be okay. And always keep, because you're never gonna have good days always. You're gonna have bad days.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had plenty. But I
Mm-hmm.
also had those days where, I talked to my mom a lot and I was able to, get myself up, on how, just get more in tune with myself and learning myself because I'm a totally different person than I was before breast cancer.
Really.
Yeah.
So this something like this definitely probably changes everything about who you are.
Yes. Yes, it
Being
does.
more grateful for every day, of course, is one.
Yes, being more grateful and not complaining as much. See, of course, you're only human. You're gonna
Right.
have moments. You're gonna complain, but when you start thinking about it, could be worse because
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of people who cancer is much much worse. I just so happen to catch mine sooner, but
Sooner.
it's so many people that are going through it right now because, like you said, breast cancer is not just October. It's
Yeah.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week,
Mhm.
365 days a year.
Yeah.
And just as we talking right now, somebody's finding out they got
They
cancer.
have breast cancer.
Or
Um,
just cancer generally. Just
that's true. Again,
yeah.
like my girlfriend, it was that was really crazy. We have a question. Can you give a little insight on the emotional journey?
Whew, whew. Okay, I'm gonna try not to tear up.
It's okay.
So um, when I first found out, I cried.
Mhm.
Um, my GYN cried with me. Uh,
It's okay.
it wasn't just hard for me, it was hard on my family as well. But my family is very close knit, and we stuck by each other through this. This, the emotions that you have, the up and down, like me and you talked about, me and my mom. Um, she's never had cancer, but
Mm-hmm.
she's seen a lot, and she's been through a lot of health issues. And just her insight on pick yourself up, we got this, you
Yeah.
got this, help me get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the other emotional journey part, when you have a vasectomy, you thinking in your head, okay, they're gone, my
Yeah.
cancer gone.
Yeah.
But once you come home and you have to look in that mirror, you start wondering, did I make the right decision? You
Mm-hmm.
start questioning yourself. And my sister was here with me, and she helped me get through it. She
Yeah.
helped me understand that I made the best decision
For you.
for me at that moment, and don't question the decision that I made.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially since you knew you thought it through, you had done the studying, but the first, from what you described to me, your first sight of it was when it really hit you.
It really hit me that, oh my God, I didn't have any. My breast was small,
Right.
but now it's like I have no breasts. They're
Mhm.
gone. And you
Yeah.
don't think about those things, even with your hair loss. I had dreads for over 20 years,
Yeah.
prepared myself. They're going to be gone, they're going to fall out. But once I ran my hand through my dreads and they was falling out, that's when it hit me. That's when it hit. Okay, you got cancer. You going through chemo. This is it. This is real.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna bring up one more thing since you said it. Something else that we all know that with breast cancer, when you do the chemo and the radiation, sometimes your hair falls out. I'm
Yes.
thinking a little hair here, a little hair there, but I found out something different last year. Can you tell us how fast or quickly that happens?
I had my first chemo February the 28th. My birthday was March 17th. My hair came out March 19th.
Wow.
That quick. And it wasn't shedding. It just so happened I just was running my hands through my hair. I normally like to wear it crinkly,
Mhm.
so on my birthday I had it braided, and then when I took it down, I just kind of was running my hair, and it just they were just falling out. So my oldest sister, she was coming that weekend for my first. My middle sister was here for my first treatment.
Mhm.
My oldest sister came on the second treatment, and she asked me, was I ready? And I said, yeah, I think I'm ready. And as he was shaving it off, I just
Mhm.
started crying because
Yeah.
it hits you.
Yeah.
You know it's coming, but
Mhm.
when if you going through it, it
Mhm.
hits.
Now I know that everybody, when they hear that word cancer, it just sounds like the word you're gonna die, right?
Yes,
That's what it sounds like. I
yes.
think I told you someone they mentioned the word, and it was a small possibility cancer, and in my mind it was like, oh my gosh, right? When did you stop seeing it as a death sentence? When did you start recuperating and becoming a warrior?
I stopped seeing it as a death sentence before my chemo treatment
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, my team and my family together, especially with the team at Methodist Willowbrook, they walk you through everything. And when they let me know that, okay, you're not gonna die from this, we could get this, you got it early, we can beat it, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be fine. That's when that
Help with
came out of my head. And like I said, with the research, and I was looking about how early I caught it
Mm-hmm.
and what stage it was, and being that, because some people, if they have an earlier stage, they can actually have surgery and get it removed. But because mine was big as a golf ball, I had
Right.
to have chemo first to shrink it and
Mm-hmm.
then have surgery. So it gave me time to just go through the motions, go through the trials of it. And by the grace of God, it wasn't as bad as I really thought it was going to be. It was bad,
Right,
but
right,
it
right,
wasn't as bad.
right. But our minds take a whole different, turn when we let it go at first.
Yes. Give me 1 second. I need some tissue.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, you're
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, when I got a little emotional.
Yes, 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 yes. And look, I'm sitting there thinking in my mind, oh, here goes some, but so what was I gonna mention? I was gonna say something else. So in Atlanta, so after you finish with chemo, so
Uh-huh.
you're done completely with chemo now.
Yes, I finished. I did, think it was 12. No, it was more than 12 weeks. I started February 28th. I finished August the 12th.
Okay.
So my first couple of rounds of chemo was every 3 weeks. And then
Mhm.
my second session of chemos was every week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just like I thought things about the hair, I always just shed a little here, shed a little, and find out, it all goes. I also learned that the reason why it comes out like that because chemo is poison. And I hadn't
Yes.
thought about that because they have to poison everything and kill everything in
Yes.
order to kill that cancer.
Yes. Yes. And that's the other thing. When I got back and onto social media, especially Facebook, I started joining groups. And I noticed that in certain groups, they didn't understand what African American women go through with doing chemo. So some of the side effects
Mm,
of chemo, especially for African American women, is pigmentation, where your pigmentation change either in your face or your skin or your tongue, which it freaked me out because when I saw my tongue was turning black, I was like, oh my God.
I
And I
did hear
found out,
that.
yeah, I
It's
found
the
that
poison
out. Yes, and
chemo.
then the you have your nail beds turns black on your fingers and your toes. Some people lose their nails and some people don't. In my
Mhm.
case, I didn't. I just so
Mhm.
happened to listen to the doctors. And even if you don't listen to the doctors, sometimes if you listen to the doctor, it's still possible that your nails can come off. But
Mhm. Like
they,
like off, like off.
yes, off, like completely off. But
Oh.
what I was recommended by my team was to always keep them low. They said keep your
Mhm.
fingernails and your toenails low because any little thing, like you could just tap it and it'll fall
Mhm.
off because it's basically like you
Mhm.
said, it's the
Poison.
poison
Mhm.
is trying to eat up everything, any
Yeah.
type of tumor in your body, anything that's going to cause any issues because I don't know why, but my fibroids are literally gone. that's,
Wow.
that's what chemo
Because it was
does.
killing
It,
everything.
it kills everything.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that and your taste buds. That's one thing that happened when my tongue started turning black. My
Mhm.
taste buds, I started losing them. So I did some reading, research, and I started talking to my mom, and we discovered. She said try Arm& and Hammer baking soda
Uh-huh.
toothpaste. So I did that. Once I started brushing my teeth and rinsing out my mouth with that, it completely
Came back.
came back. Yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
over time, your nails start clearing up,
Mhm.
your hair starts growing back. A
Mhm.
lot of people, which some of the things that I'm still dealing with right now is
Mhm.
neuropathy, which is kind of like nerve endings
Mhm. Mhm.
in your fingers and toes when you have chemo. So I
Mhm.
still have that issue in my right foot. And I
Like
just,
it's a tingling or something?
yeah, like even if I walk on it,
Mhm.
it has like a little, like somebody's pinching me with a needle.
Mm.
So I still deal with that. And then with my legs, I just discovered that we have no idea where it came from, but I did send the pictures to the doctor. I'm
Mhm.
having like some form of spotting, like pigmentation that's on
Yeah.
my right leg. So it's basically my right leg and foot is giving me
Mhm.
the most problems, but everything else has started, actually came back to normal.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, that one the pigmentation I hadn't heard of, but that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
Yeah.
Um, Donnie, Mr. Donnie, my co-host said, he says, blessings to you for your strength and your courage.
Oh, thank you, Donnie. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I say that to you as well because you give us all inspiration, you're giving us all motivation, and you also make us realize again that life is short and that we can
Yeah.
wake up tomorrow and anything can go on.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel as our friend. And let me just tell you this. During COVID,
uh,
or right after, I shouldn't say after COVID because it wasn't still with God, but you just disappeared. And
I
I was
did.
like,
I did.
where she went? Where she
I
went?
went through a depression. I
Right.
think it wasn't even the depression.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Was that
it
before you
was
found out
depression. It
about
was,
the cancer
yes, yes. I
though?
I just started seeing a lot of people get COVID. I
Yeah.
had a classmate that
Right.
passed from COVID. So
Oh,
it was just a lot. It
oh,
just started, social media it
it
just
was too
started
much.
becoming too much. And I
Yeah,
just said, you know what? It's time for me to just get off.
that's good you do that.
Just stay in my zone. Just,
Yeah,
and I just diverted out. But as
gotcha.
soon as my vasectomy surgery
Mhm,
was over, I said, you know what? Let me get back on Facebook. Let me get back into social media. And then
mhm.
that's when I found out all these different organizations, all these different groups. And I
Yeah.
said, man, if I would have been on here earlier, I could have, connected
But
with
that
other
was
people. But
it's good that you know when you need a break from certain
yes,
things. That's good.
yes,
But I'll also say that it's good you came back on because now you're sharing your story. A lot of
yes,
people say bad things about social media, and it can be, but
yeah,
you also can use Facebook for, not even just Facebook, social media for some good. And that's
yes,
what you're doing. And every morning I try to, well, I do, unless I just get to working, but I try to send out a motivational quote every morning.
yes,
'Cause it motivates me, but also I'm hoping that I'm motivating someone else. And I see that you
yes,
do the same. And so
yes.
with you coming back, I'm glad you're back because you've always kind of been a little right. That's why I was missing. Where is she? And I even was like, maybe she changed her name on her. I mean, because I like literally missed you. You were one of
No,
the people that,
I got off. I said I
yeah,
can't. It
I
just was
totally
becoming
get that.
too much. Yeah,
Yeah, even
yeah,
TV started getting scared. That you were in the house.
yeah.
Were you still working? Because your health.
I work from home. I've been working from
Okay,
home
gotcha,
since I want to say 2020. That's when I
gotcha.
started working from home. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and they didn't make y'all go back.
No, not my department.
Not your
No,
department.
no.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
doing what you were going through too.
Right. And they have been very supportive. My supervisor and manager are amazing when it came to
Wow.
this. They, checked on me. I let them know what was going on. They
Mhm.
work with me when it comes to my appointments because that's another thing about cancer that a lot of people, when you say, oh, my tumor is gone, and
Mhm.
people think cancer is
It's
over.
just gone.
It's not.
Yeah.
You literally are still having to get scans and tests and follow-ups, and that's going to be going on at least for the next 5 to 10 years, if not more,
Really.
for the
Wow.
rest of my life. So you can't, the tumor is gone, but
Mhm.
the situation of cancer is
Mhm.
forever in my life,
In your life.
forever. Yeah.
Wow.
Once you get it, it's the tumor is you can get rid of the tumor if
Mhm.
it's possible
Yeah.
with medication depending on your stage and
Mhm.
grade. But for the rest of your life, cancer is a part of my life now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, Well, we're gonna go since we're talking about social media and how you come out and you join these different groups and you're out giving good information. I see the information you gave on uh, self care, which is something I have self exams, which is something I have to
Yes.
do. Because I thought you were gonna say what I normally say when you said, but that's not what you said. I was thinking, well, if I thought the way my head works is if I touch on something, I'm gonna feel something anyway, and I'm gonna freak out. So that's why I hadn't been doing it. And
Uh-huh.
but I am going to, start because especially since today you said something I'd never heard before,
Mhm.
unless that lady said that. But anyway, that she had a mammogram, that you had a mammogram, and they didn't find anything.
Yeah, because
That's a
I
thought.
just told somebody the other day, we was talking about my best friend.
Mhm,
We was talking about the stages of breast cancer, and
mhm.
she didn't even know that you can actually have zero stage of breast cancer.
I didn't either.
So yeah, so it's because with the mammograms, that's why they're trying to push for the 3D mammograms and the
Yeah.
ultrasounds because
Mhm.
it shows better,
Right.
more in depth of what is in your
In
breast.
your breast.
Especially if you have dense breasts, you're only going to see white. So
Right.
that's the purpose of the 3D to expand it out so
Mhm.
that they can see more.
Right. I've
Yeah.
had to come back because mine
Yes.
are dense. And so they'll
Yes.
have me come back. And it scares you to death, but you go back.
Yes. Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's scary. I think you have to pay. It was something because I think I've had the 3D. I think I've
Okay.
had that if I'm not mistaken, or
Mhm.
either they recommended it or something like that. But so the next part we're going to talk about is just you're joining the groups, you're doing things, you're out here giving all your knowledge. We walked, we did the breast cancer walk, the Sisters
Yes.
Network, which is so much fun,
Yes, it
good
was
fun
good. It was
exercise,
so
being with family,
fun.
supporting. It was a great time. So talk to us about this event that's coming up in Houston because you did it in Atlanta. Now
Yes.
you bring it on home to H Town. Let's talk about that for me.
Okay, so during my treatment and my surgeries when I was recovering, like I said, I joined these different groups and I started seeing people, talk about their hair. And of course, we lose our eyebrows and lashes. And you, of course, as beautiful as you are without anything on, we
Yeah.
are all beautiful.
Yes.
But it's sometimes you just want to feel beautiful for just one day. You want to be glammed up for just one day.
Yeah.
And I started having these visions, and I'm big on visions and prayers and
Mhm.
dreams. And it started coming to me, what can I do to be a part of helping to support the rest of my pink sisters? What can I
Mhm.
do to make them feel good, even if it's just for one day? So
Yeah.
then that's when I discussed it with my son's barber. Then his name is Greg from Opulence Hair Studio in Atlanta, and we talked a lot because he has breast cancer on his side of the family as well.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
we talked about it, and he was like, "Well, let's do something." So we got together, and I told him I want to do a day where the ladies get pampered with hair, makeup, photos, food, knowledge, conversation, all of that. And he said, okay, done. It was no questions asked. So we started working on it. But look, even in the midst of me recovering from my surgery, we was
Yeah.
working on it. And then all of a sudden, we had the caterer said she'll do it. We had the makeup artist said she'll do it. We had the stylist in the rest in the salon say they'll do
Mhm.
it. So we ended up serving. It's supposed to be 10 women, but it ended
Mhm.
up being 7.
Okay.
And they came in, they got their hair done, makeup done. We had conversations. We had food.
Mhm.
We gave out gifts, hug in a
Mhm.
bag.
Oh, the
Tanisha,
hug of the bag.
yeah, hug in a bag. I also did bracelets. So even when I was recovering, I
Mhm.
wanted to give back to my family and friends for
Yes.
support. So
Mhm.
I started looking at bracelets and I said, well, I can do that. And,
Mhm.
I'm not much of a creative person, but I was like, I can do that. And
Right.
so I started making bracelets, personalized bracelets for my family and friends. So
Okay.
I also did it for the event. So all the young ladies, they got bracelets, they
Mhm.
got gift bags. It was a young lady in um, Maryland.
Okay.
that she wasn't able to come, but she donated. She's a breast cancer survivor. She
Mhm.
donated gift bags for the event. So that's what we did. And then we had Dr. Diamond White to come in. She's a psychologist, and she came in and she was phenomenal. It was no dry eye in
Wow.
the event where
Yeah.
she talked to us about mental health and going through the motions of everyday life and battling cancer, and
Hmm.
letting us know that God is always in control, and he will fight our battles. And she was it was amazing. It
I
was
bet
amazing.
that was.
Yes, yes. So now we're coming to H Town. So when I did it in March, I did it for my birthday celebration, but it was also triple negative breast cancer month with this, which is March. So August is the celebration of my last chemo treatment, which was the 12th. So I want to do it on August the 13th. And right now, we're working on getting the location. And if any salons or beauty school would like to collaborate and sponsor, I would appreciate you contacting me at pinkbreastiesista@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Facebook, Pink Breastie Sista Presents, on Instagram, Pink Breastie Sista, on TikTok, Pink Breastie Sista. And we're going to serve about 10 to 15 ladies. I also already have the speakers. We're going to have Dr. Diamond White again. We have Takia Scott coming to speak to us about hair care. She does hair units for ladies with alopecia as well as breast cancer survivors. We're going to have Mika Diamond as the host, and we're also going to have Tashi PV come in to speak about mammograms.
Okay.
And then
And
we're going
you're
to have,
seeking out a location that'll have shampoo bowls, dryers, that kind
yes,
of,
the
but also
location
an area
has
to
to have,
where you can have
yes,
people. Okay.
yes, it has to be either a salon or a beauty school, because we're serving the
Mm-hmm.
ladies, not just giving them knowledge and discussion. We're actually serving them, giving them a service for free, and you're giving back.
I would like to know what was the response from some of the ladies that were serviced.
Well, I have one that me and her keep in touch a lot, and but all of the ladies appreciate it. All the ladies was very, very appreciative.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one particular one, and I follow her, and she um actually 2 years she had had her hair professionally done until that event, and now she actually goes every week to Opulence every week to get her hair fixed now.
Wow.
So it's not just, just serving the ladies for that day.
Mm-hmm.
It's also to have an opportunity for a salon or a stylist to gain a client,
Definitely.
because especially if that client feels comfortable with that person and how they made them feel for that day,
Yeah.
you may end up having your client from this point on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially in sharing something like this, you know what I
Yes,
mean? And that
yes,
would make them feel comfortable with you.
yes,
Because beauticians, our beauty styles, whatever we're calling them nowadays, I still say beautician, I'm old school. You always have a relationship with them. And so that would even help start a bond
yes,
between the two.
yes,
Um,
yes.
so it's gonna be August the 13th, and it's called the Breast Cancer Beauty
It's
Bar.
it's it's Pink Breastie Sister presents Pop-Up Breastie Beauty Bar. And the reason why I came up with that name is breasty in the breast cancer community is bestie mixed with breasty. So we're breasties.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. And you said
Yes.
August 13th.
Yes. From noon to 6.
Okay. So will you? So you said pop up. So will there be vendors? What
No,
can someone do? to participate or give back if they aren't in beauty, makeup, that kind of thing?
Well, they can give donations. They can give gifts. Um, they can just show their love. Um, I guess that would be because it's a the thing about it, it's an intimate setting. Because when you go to the salon and the makeup artist, it's between you and your stylist. So it's not like a event. It's an intimate
Oh,
one-on-one, for everybody to just have that day of feeling good.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
I get it now. I couldn't I couldn't visualize it completely, but I got it now. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's an intimate. It's basically like a day at the hair salon
Mm-hmm.
with you and your stylist, and then you have your makeup done, and you get
Mm-hmm.
pictures taken. You get food. You get conversations because we all know when you in the salon, you are gonna have conversations.
Gonna be
So
conversation. Might as
right.
well be something productive.
Right. And what I did at the other event, what I incorporated was story time. And that way each
Oh.
person can share their story. And with our event, we all had different, the one that I had in Atlanta, we all had different stories.
Mhm.
No one story was the same. So it give you the opportunity to hear what someone else went through or what they're going through, have
Right.
empathy for them, and they'll have empathy for you. And it's also passing that knowledge of what they may not have known about your cancer, and you may not
Exactly.
have known from their cancer.
Exactly. I love that, and it sounds like it's a really cool event.
Yes.
I'm gonna put the date. I remember the date and put it in my phone, but I need to put it in my real calendar because again, I'm old school. So I write.
I know. That's how I got mine in my calendar. And more details are coming soon. We'll
Mhm. So
also
you'll
be
have a flyer and all that good stuff
yes,
made for us to
I
be
have a
able to post.
flyer and I have a place for the ladies to register. Like I said, it's gonna be 10 to 15 women. We don't, it's like I said, it's very intimate.
And I was gonna say,
So
how do
it's
you
gonna be
choose?
how how it's almost like a first come, first serve.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
And that way it won't be where I'm sitting, people competing. It's not
Right,
about that.
right,
So
right. I
it's
like that
about us coming together. So
better.
it's gonna be a first come, first serve, and you're gonna get served and you're gonna get a lot of love and a lot
Hmm.
of hugs and a lot of knowledge.
Okay. Well, I'm excited about that. Did you want to leave anyone with any last words of encouragement, motivation?
Don't give up. Stay strong.
Yeah.
Um, God has the final say. Even I've met other women that has told me that they was told that they wasn't going to live after
Wow.
6 months, but they kept going and they did live after 6 months.
Oh, that's so good.
So God has the final say,
He does.
and we're only human. Yeah, you're gonna have bad days.
Hmm.
That is the most human part. You're going to have bad days, but try not to think about the present. Think
Hmm.
about the future. Think
Yeah.
about what's on the other side of cancer. What's on the other side of you being whole again. Because we'll never necessarily be whole again
Hmm.
physically,
Right.
but mentally and spiritually we can.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know the answer to this, but so this journey that you're still going through,
Yeah.
has it built your faith even more?
Yes. Yes.
Of course.
I have moments
Yeah.
where I say, God,
Wow.
what you doing?
Hmm.
Look what you doing. But
Hmm.
then I have moments where I say, God, I see you. And I'm
I say that
stopping and I'm
all the time,
listening.
don't I,
Yeah.
Donnie?
Yeah. I
I'm
see
like, I
you.
see what you're doing. I see what
Yeah,
you're
I see
doing.
what you're doing. Because a lot of times if you just stop and don't, move, just sit
Hmm.
in it, sit in the valley, because we all have valleys. You
Yes.
sit in the valley, he's gonna move everything around you and he's gonna
Hmm.
move it around and
Hmm.
fix it.
Yep.
He's gonna fix everything.
I have a book. I'm in a book club. Sometimes I'm in a book club, but the book club that I've been part of, it was we read a book called Learning to Hear the Voice of God.
Okay.
It was
Yes.
one of the best books I've read, best book clubs. Matter of fact, I wish they just redo this book again. But it's where I learned to sometimes just sit in your silence, your pain, or your sorrow, whatever. Just sit there for a minute and just stop and listen. Because you hear
Yes.
people say, "Oh, God told me," and I was like, "These people, God ain't told." No, what God? How God? But literally, if you sit, you see, and you
Yes.
feel, and you hear from your heart,
Yes. Yes.
the
You
voice
can
of
hear
God and
him
what he's
because
telling you to do, what direction. And now I'm gonna tell y'all something I believe in telling everybody. He don't tell you when you try to do it on your own.
that's
He said
right.
no. He'd be like, okay, well,
Keep
I'm
your
gonna let him
hands
go and
off
do it.
of it.
I'm
Keep
gonna
your
let
hands off.
you
The
your hands
best
off.
thing to do is to pray about it and let it
Let
go.
it go.
Don't
And it
worry
is
about
hard.
it. Let it go. Just let it go. Because
So to
I
learn
promise you,
and see
I
and
think
come
I
to
right, and I think I heard him more during going
mhm,
through the treatments and surgeries than I've ever heard from him before. Because
definitely.
I just surrendered and let him have his way.
Yes. And when you do that, I'm telling you, it's an amazing feeling to let go. And when you be like, and that's when I be like, I see what you did. I see, I be like,
I see
yeah.
you. That's what I say. I see you, God. I see
I
you
see
doing
exactly
it. I
where you
see you
taking me. I see
working.
where you're going. So, because I always tease and laugh with Donnie when we talk about that. But let me give you some comments before we end and let
Okay.
Donnie do his show. Donnie says we are all on this journey together. However, we each have our own personal story.
Absolutely.
And then D, let's see. D says, "Hey D, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey. God does have the final say."
Amen.
Amen. Well, Tamika,
Yes.
I want to thank you so much for being so open, transparent through this journey. And as I thought about it, reflected on me making a statement of, "Well, I want you to hold your story to October." I'm glad I didn't. That I kind of came back on that because like that doesn't make any sense. But again, sometimes you think about stuff as you're saying it. Like, did I
Yeah.
say that? But so what I meant, and
Yeah,
I do
I
apologize if
understand.
I was offensive when I said that. But we definitely want you back in October.
Yes.
By then we'll be past the first beauty bar. We getting ready for the next beauty bar
Yes. Yes.
by October.
Yes.
So,
Because the,
um,
the the main goal
mhm,
is to have pop-up breasty beauty bar citywide, nationwide.
that would
That's
be
going to be the goal.
yes,
That
that's gonna be
any
really good.
city to
So you gotta go back every year and do the one in Atlanta as well.
yes, I'm going to do this at it won't be the same, it'll be the
Mhm,
same time.
gotcha.
So that's why I'm trying to do March for Atlanta,
Okay.
August for Houston, and any other city that would like for me to do a pop-up beauty bar,
Mhm.
feed them into other different months.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I'm going to invite you for him.
Okay.
That whenever when Donnie has asked you, he's going to ask you to come on his show because he has different viewers than I have. And
Okay.
getting the message out there is what's important.
Yes.
Getting the message out there,
Yes.
and really, when you're this transparent, this open, it's been you and one other person that has been the most transparent to where I learned so much. So going
Yes.
on the other show as well, so that you get it to the masses. So you can
Yes.
go on every show you can. So, but anyway, I'm inviting you for him, and he'll contact you with his date so that you can speak with his viewers as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you
I'm gonna
again
find
for the
that. Thank
transparency, and
you.
thank you for being such an inspiration and motivation to us all to know that life is short and that we need to embrace it all now. And then also telling us that we gotta I forgot what you said. We gotta embrace it and let
Yeah.
go, let
Yeah.
God, and don't give up. Keep going.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
all right, ma'am. Y'all make
Mhm.
sure y'all go check out the Pink Breastie Beauty Bar that's coming in August the 13th. Reach out to her on Facebook social media, Facebook, Instagram. You can email her. I posted it there. If you want to make a donation, if there's anything that you want to do to support this great event, that's a great cause. There's going to be 10 ladies chosen. I guess she's going to you'll send something out to say when people
Yes.
sign up. First
Yep.
come, first serve, which makes it really, really, in my opinion, very fair.
Hmm.
Um, Yes, but so there will be more information coming up. So why am I tripping on my words? There will be more information soon, but it's a
Yes.
great event. So again, if you don't remember any of her information, contact me. I will put you in contact with her so that you can make sure this becomes nationwide and a yearly annual event.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Bye.
Bye bye.